Hey guys, Sammy Chucks here from CyLynk.com. I want to share the latest critical vulnerability that has been going on out there. So if you have not already heard about it, perhaps you've been camping or having a great time over the last few days. Well, you probably need to get back on your computer and take a look at this. So React2Shell is what this vulnerability is, and it is impacting both the JavaScript frameworks React and Next.js as well. So I'm going to show you guys in this particular short video how you can actually find out if you're running React.js, so you can then go back and double check if you're vulnerable to the vulnerable versions that I'm going to show you guys here. So without any further ado, let's dive right in so I can show you guys what this particular vulnerability that is shaking up the cybersecurity ecosystem and how you can find out if you're running the actual underlying application on your web app or your website. All right, so let's dive in. I'll share my screen real quick. All right, guys, you obviously know that by now we've launched our monthly subscription, so you can actually start gaining job-ready cybersecurity training, hands-on practical, and you can actually learn a lot about input insecure sterilization and input sterilization from our platform. But that's not why we're here. Let's dive right in, guys. That's my shameless plug right there. All right, so this particular vulnerability is rated with the highest level of rating in cybersecurity, and this is a CVSS score of 10. Now, this actually means that this is the highest that it can go. This is a big deal because a lot of organizations who might not necessarily understand the technical implementation, this means that from a business risk point of view, that a threat actor could potentially gain access to your platform or your organization data or information or infrastructure without any blockage, potentially. So there's nothing stopping them from being able to get access to your platform if you have not already patched. So anyone who's running the React frameworks, that is a JavaScript framework or the Next.js framework, they need to pay attention to this. So the CVSS, the CVE is captured as 2025-55182. So this is a vulnerability that actually is an unauthenticated remote code execution vulnerability. Now, this requires a bit of unpacking. There's actually two key things there. The first thing is that, one, the vulnerability is unauthenticated, so which means it doesn't require the malicious actor to be able to put in a password or gain access to user password via something like social engineering. So it's basically free to all. They can do whatever they want. There is no need for authentication or authorization. And secondly, when they do get access to it, they are able to run remote commands. So someone from in the middle of nowhere, let's say Brazil or China or Africa, can potentially run remote command on your system and be able to take over the whole server. So this is actually impacting React Server Component RCS protocol versions, version 19.0, 19.1, 19.11, 19.2.0, along these three key packages, which are React Server.webpack, React Server.dom pasu, and React Server.dom turbopack, which is obviously as a result of insecure or unsafe input desterilization. Now, sterilization is basically an efficient way for web applications to communicate with each other and to send user data to the backend. But in this case, the threat actor can potentially craft out a malicious user data, sterilize it, and then send that to the backend, which then desterilizes it and then thereby executing the threat actor's malicious code or malicious commands. So this is something to pay attention to. Interestingly, the key thing here is that because of this vulnerability, this 2025-55182, there's actually been a downstream impact or a downstream vulnerability that's been caused by it, and that is captured as CVE-2025-66478. And the worst part of it is that both of these vulnerabilities have a rating of 10.0. Guys, this is as bad as it gets in cybersecurity. And if you're not a cybersecurity head like myself or other cybersecurity professionals, this actually spells doom for businesses. So make sure you're patching, make sure you're reaching out to your security engineers, system administrators, cybersecurity defenders, and experts in your team to ensure that they're getting to take a look at this immediately. So to show you guys how to actually find this, so there's this extension, web application extension that you can use. So it's called Wappalyzer. So Wappalyzer actually shows you what application is running on a website or web app that you're on. So we can see that darkreading.com is currently running React. Now, I'm sure they've patched this version. This does not actually mean that they're vulnerable. This just means that they're using the JavaScript framework React in the backend. You can also take a look at this on Google as well. You can see what they're running. So you can see that Google uses YouTube as the player. You can see that they use the Google web server in the backend. And then obviously the main programming language here is PHP. So if you're wondering, how can I get access to Wappalyzer? Well, shout out to the guys who designed it. You can literally just Google Wappalyzer, and then you can see that there's a version that you can download that is for Chrome, Firefox, and Edge. There's actually one for Safari as well. So guys, this is just an extension that you can use to tell what web application is running on the website that you visit. So from here, you can then go back and speak to your team to tell them, hey, it seems that we're running React or Next.js. Can we make sure we're not vulnerable to these two key vulnerabilities? Guys, this is an immediate call to action. Make sure you're patching this, because this is huge and this is really important. This has been an incredible segment of VulnBytes. Thank you so much, guys, for watching, and stay safe out there.